Yes, welcome back to Footy and Friends. We are previewing some of the big games heading ahead this weekend. This episode of Footy and Friends is brought to you by our friends at BWS. Get your drinks for game day sorted and enjoy the footy with BWS. Refreshingly, BWS stats, which we will get into today, my friends. Welcoming my good companions, Brett Delidio. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Dyl. Great to be here, mate.
And Mickey B, my bumblebee. How are you, bud?
How are you, buddy?
How are you, buddy?
Champion.
Oh, a champion. Champinus.
How's the rest of the week been? Good.
Mate, it's been all right. Bloody
family time.
Bloody family time's been fantastic. You know what's it's hard to be a family at the moment when it's so bloody chilly outside.
Oh, isn't it?
Cold. Freezing.
You go to the park in the morning, the young bloke, he loves a swing.
Does he?
And we're actually getting the mittens on him because he just... He's
Can't
hard,
hold on to the chain.
He's hard as a cat's head, but the mother worries about that he's going to get frostbite on the
bull.
hands. He is a bull. Mate, he's a bull. He's an absolute bull. I've been wrestling him.
Hey, guess what's this week?
Yeah, moving on, yep.
No. Moving on. No, just reminded me, the cold weather.
Oh, it's cold.
It's actually
solstice.
like now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solstice.
Do you know on actually today, is it Thursday today?
Thursday.
It's Thursday today because I was looking at it this week because my man Brett's actually got the week off this week.
No, I haven't got the
No,
week
he
off.
doesn't. No, sorry, no, he doesn't.
No. I'm still working.
Still working,
Yeah.
yes, of course. But he's out of the office, is it?
Yeah, just out of office.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday when we were planning to maybe have that meeting on the golf course that we were going to have talking about business, guess what the low is on Wednesday?
6.
2 degrees.
What? Two.
We're in the office.
But it's a nice two. It's still two.
It's a nice 2, isn't it?
Maybe we'll go to the
I
simulators.
have to agree with that. It's
a nice 2.
It is a nice 2. So it's
Solstice. Great week.
Look,
Days get longer after this.
yeah, they do. Hey, moving on. What a bloody exciting round of football we have ahead. There's some big games. This is now, as I said last week, I'm starting to lose. I lose a little bit of interest this time of year.
Yeah.
But also, I know for the football lovers, and your teams being included, it is an important time because if you drop one here, it's getting cold. It's 2 degrees. If you start dropping them, it counts at the end of the year.
He's got heavy hitting. If you start dropping them, it'll reflect poorly on how your season's
It
going.
will. If you didn't know that, if you don't win,
No,
it's not good.
It's a win-loss.
Don't get the 4 points.
If you're in finals contention and you drop one,
Yeah.
you put yourself at risk.
Well, you do. And they can't go, it's 2 degrees on Thursday. It's too cold. That doesn't fucking matter once you're out there. Get it done.
Yeah, jump in down at St Kilda, jump in the beach, get the hoodie and beanie off and dunk your head under type stuff.
Oh, God, that's cold.
No, that was the worst.
Were you a hoodie and beanie guy down there, Brett? Just up to your
Depends
place?
if the cameras were there, then probably lift it up above.
I've got a good video to show you guys. I'll reshare it on socials this week. But there was a video when I...
Not the Mason Wood one again.
No, not the Mason Wood one again. There was a video when I first had Brett on the podcast back in 2018. And he's on the ropes.
Yeah, I love the ropes photo.
Holy rope me. That is a good...
Tell you what I've been tempted to do because of all your selfies that you take at the gym and post and say, I've just been there, obviously doing legs, not uppers.
Yep.
I've been tempted to take a couple after a full pump, but I'm not that much of a flog.
Look at this.
Holy smokes. Dyl Friends, video on the podcast.
Wow, look at that.
Hashtag Dyl Friends. You excited for the feature? Look out,
Look at that.
Look
at
at
that rig.
Dutchy DeMoore
Yeah,
next to him.
Dutchy needs to take a breath. He thought the video was about him. Sorry about that.
Do you know Dutchy? No, you guys know Dutchy as well as I.
Matt DeBoer for all those playing at
Matt DeBoer,
home.
who's the ultimate
last
professional.
episode when Brett's going the chief. I'm like, who the fuck's the chief? Anyway, moving on.
They're doing the ropes there.
Sorry.
Dutchy, the ultimate professional. Brett would have, you've stopped.
Yeah.
Dutchy would be like, we don't stop. Like, we're not in our rest yet. Like,
Matt
he would have
DeBoer,
been filthy.
Yeah, he's very
Diligent.
He's very diligent. Matt DeBoer is a, he's on the AFL Commission.
Yes.
That is genuinely incredible.
Yeah. Superhuman.
Superhuman.
Yeah.
You could do a podcast series on Matt DeBoer. We've all played with him.
I think he'll be a CEO of an AFL football club.
I think that you'd be...
What is it, like 10 years?
I actually think you'd be underselling him if he was that. Do you know what I mean? Like in the sense that he could do way bigger things than that.
Yeah. Not to undersell.
No. I did have Tom Harley on a couple of weeks ago, and that is a great role. But I'm just saying, I think his mind, it's like something I've never really seen before. Do you reckon he'll stay in footy? Because he's obviously doing athletic ventures at the moment with everything there. And
Which is connected to athletes, professional athletes.
Yeah. He's on the AFL commission. That's just, good on him. I don't even know
good
what they do,
operator.
but he's a great operator. Moving on. Hey, BWS Weekend Preview. Get your drinks for game day sorted and enjoy the footy with BWS, refreshingly BWS stats. Now, you have an update for us here, Mick, last week. What? Because we've gone with my stats.
Mate, your stats.
Yeah, so we had the wounded bull,
The
we
wounded
had
bull
the
is
taking
like-
to the square.
Wounded Bull. Let's start with Wounded
Okay, go on.
Bull.
And
Con-
what
contested-
dickhead's this from North Melbourne?
So shut up.
yeah. Judda, his name is? Or did you say
Definitely
shut
not
up?
Judda.
Okay, sorry.
I said shut up.
Apologies.
So Wounded Bull segment is the biggest discrepancy between kind of contested possession to uncontested possession.
Correct.
So my man Cam Morris down there at North, a.k.a. Tank.
That's not Steve Morris's brother,
No,
is it?
it's not
From
at
Richmond,
all.
Brett's former teammate?
No.
VFL coach.
VFL
Yeah.
coach, no?
So Tank, his name is. So he's an analyst, but he's called Tank. What do you reckon he looks like?
He's a big boy.
Not like Tank. Not like
okay.
a Tank. He looks like an analyst.
Oh, really? Run around in the shower to get wet.
That's
For some reason,
fantastic.
he's got the glasses.
Yeah,
I love. He had a bit of an edge about him on the weekend. Just gone. Tank. Hope he doesn't mind me sharing this story.
Won't ask him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with it.
Just go.
So we played Collingwood last Sunday. Highly emotive game. Tank's in the box. He's crunching the numbers. Does a great job.
Does Clarko go, hey,
Contested-
shut your fucking keyboard up, mate.
No.
Try and focus.
Clarko goes to him and goes, who's the fundamental king for the game and who's the wounded bull?
Wow.
And Tank goes...
BWS, they're the BWS professionally stats, by the way, and Clarko's using him in game. You heard it verbatim. He's using him.
And may I throw... Clarko's been getting a bit of press around his emotives and whatnot, hasn't he? lately?
His language.
He's a motive guy.
From Tank's observation on the weekend, some of the opposition supporters might have been trying to rope a reaction, I think, out of our head coach there across the game. Where the box is and all that stuff. And I think when the siren said there were some things maybe said, and Tank just probably said, "What'd you say, mate?" Tank's
going out there.
So Tank's stuck up, which I love to see. And Tank, again, wouldn't put the fear of God into you.
No.
But at the same time, the opposition supporter scurried off.
Yeah,
and,
good.
Tank,
Good.
to say 1-0 Tank v opposition
Well,
supporter.
it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the fight of the dog. And Tank sounds like he's a tank.
Back to the initial discussion around the stats. So the wounded bull he thinks is easy to judge.
Okay, does he like it?
He thinks there needs to be a minimum possession.
Okay.
So
See the
because
Not just one contested position. Yeah, that makes
player
sense.
X gets subbed out with 2 possessions and 2 contested.
Yeah. Well, Tank, thanks for the fucking obviousness of that one, but we were going to
let's
do
say
that.
10 possession minimum.
Okay. Darcy, you write these notes down.
He
We'll go back
thinks
to
it's
BWS.
very heavily weighted towards ruckman, which
We know your thoughts.
Well, maybe we delete them out of it. Yeah, that's fair
Also,
enough.
Ruckman aren't involved in that one, in the wounded bull.
No.
the fundamental.
He likes that one. Tell me he likes that one.
He likes that one.
okay.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
We all like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Well, so we trained down there.
Yeah, exactly.
So just what did he say about it though? Is there any?
He said again, minimum. You probably need a minimum threshold. So 10 possessions.
10. Yeah.
Again, if you guy player X has 1 possession and gets subbed out, then he goes at 100%. So minimum.
Yep.
So doesn't mind that. Doesn't mind it.
Yep. And then take him to the square.
So taking the square, he hates.
Okay. I like the obviousness.
He
That's
hates
fine.
there's actually a little bit of a furphy in the champion data system around the contested or
Yes.
the contest. So
It's just a loose ball. That
ball
you can
goes
get
up,
onto.
right? You two. Dylan
Yeah.
versus Brett.
Yeah, we know what's
In
going to
the
happen
air.
there. We know what's going to happen there. There'll be 3 hitting
So-
me, hitting Brett, him at the floor, hiding the ambulance, sitting under it on the way to the fucking hospital.
So we're trying, in short, we're trying to get the result, who wins the most one-on-ones
Yeah.
across the game.
Yep.
The one-on-one is a hard thing to judge because the ball goes up in the air for you two, and you, Dylan, get your hand to the ball first and the ball hits the ground, so you've halved the contest, haven't you? You both halved it.
Yep. Does that get counted as a win?
Bear with me.
Apologies.
Ball hits the deck. Brett's teammate over here, little front and centre guy, gets the ball. So Brett and handballs it through. That would be a an aerial loss to you, an aerial win to you. Because it's all about what...
It's not really a 1v1 though, is it?
So it's a hard stat to gauge because...
It's a flawed system.
Yeah, there's some outliers in terms of what happens when the
all right, well, maybe
there.
can we get Tank to sort of...
Just go through every game and every area.
Well, no, can Tank sort of come back with maybe like what
His
my
suggestions.
sort of philosophy
Email
in
into
life is
Mick's
no
mailbag.
problems, only solutions. So you've presented 3 problems. Let's get 3 solutions to what is next in
It's
in
probably
how we...
because it's a tricky one. Because if you go just one-on-one marks or contested marks,
You know, Dustin's won the most since 2010, more than Tom Hawkins in terms of one-on-ones.
Has
The
he
highest
really?
percentage, 49%. Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
so it's
Little dusty stat for you.
maybe Dylan. I've got a suggestion.
Yes.
And, you like suggestions.
I love suggestions.
Maybe it's just, is there the take him to the square of the week? And we actually get the video of... and
Charlie Kerno
you
v.
throw out
whoever.
your poll on the weekend, on Sunday night, and say, send us in your take him to the square of the week.
Okay,
And
I don't mind that. You know who is the best 1v1 player, I reckon,
In the game?
in the game? Stephen May.
Really?
he was...
But maybe even just nullifying, though. Like, not...
Yeah, so he'd halve more though than he wins.
Yeah.
Would you suggest?
Yeah, but I just
Sammy
think that-
Taylor's pretty good.
Sammy
I reckon.
Taylor's very good as well.
Isn't it?
Pick me this, okay?
Riddle
Off
me
top.
this.
Riddle me this. Top 3 defenders in the comp. Wiedering, Sam Taylor, Stephen May.
Yeah.
Harris Andrews.
Harris Andrews pretty good as well. Okay, there's 4.
Yeah.
Who do you pick
First.
out of them?
I
I don't think Darcy Moore's similar to those 3
No,
guys.
More of a
though.
roll-offer.
He's more of a roll-offer,
I
yeah.
know Sylv did a pretty good job on him earlier.
Yeah.
Who would I pick first? I would go with the bloke that I've played with,
Sam
Sammy
Taylor.
Taylor. Because I just know how competitive he is.
Yeah. Well,
Sam
watching,
Taylor or Alex Rance?
Oh, that's juicy.
That's
That's
tough.
juicy.
That is tough.
I'd have to go with Rancy.
Rance, he's just got a bit more power about him, doesn't he? That
Beast.
speed and...
Beast. Both equally as competitive.
Yeah.
But Rance is, just some of his stuff. I remember there was a game, and Cambo told me this. We lost to the Giants up there. I wasn't playing. That doesn't matter.
No, it does. It's good. It's good.
We were losing by 80 points to the Giants, the Tigs were. And all Leon could talk about in the box was, how do we draft or trade for Alex Rance to come onto our team? He'd had like 18 intercepts, marked everything, and we still lost by 80 points. Just a superstar of a player.
Richmond lost by 80 points.
We lost
Yeah.
by 80 odd
it
points.
was hard to keep track of there, wasn't it? Because it was Brett's two sides.
He's been everywhere.
Sorry.
And Brett wasn't playing.
and I wasn't playing, so that doesn't matter. So cut
No,
that
it
out.
does, because they wouldn't have had any inside 50s if you were playing. So it would have just
yeah.
been rebounds. Anyway, that's great. So let's get into the round 15.
Yeah.
Gee
Big game,
whiz.
big start.
Oh, you know
Unlike
what,
last week,
I'd actually
big start.
Big start. I'd actually say, you know what? I'm starting to enjoy it again because it's
you're back?
Round 15 is starting to get...
Yes. Let
This
Andrew
is
Dillon know.
important
Dyl
time.
Buckley's back on AFL.
As
He's
we
watching.
said, brought to you by our friends at BWS, refreshingly BWS stats. Since 2011, the win percentage of teams coming off the bye against teams not coming off the bye is 42%. Okay, so let me read that again.
Yep.
The win percentage of teams coming off the bye against teams not coming off the bye is 42%. So, I still don't get that.
Let me read that again.
Go one more time.
The win percentage of teams coming off the bye,
Versus teams not coming off the bye.
Yeah.
so
So
meaning,
teams not coming off the bye are 58%.
Yeah.
More, so it's like...
yeah, the
only
bye's not
slight.
good.
And the standard deviation...
Bye good, no bye,
Wow.
not good. Is that what we're saying?
8%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not to say it's
So
impossible.
Geelong and Carlton are both coming off the bye? I
Yes,
don't know.
they are.
I think they are.
They
Yeah,
are.
they're-
Yep.
So that stat is not relevant for this game at all. Geelong versus Carlton at the MCG.
Skip past to the next 5 minutes. Oh, my God.
Who wins?
Yeah.
Blues.
Blues.
Yeah, Blues.
Yeah.
Blues.
I'm worried about the Cats at the moment. They got off to a hot start, but they need all their big guns firing. I don't know whether Danger's back. Is Danger a chance to play for the Pussies?
I haven't. Scotty here, who's a cat diehard, he gets a face paint on, sits in the cheer squad. He works with us here, and he gets a bit weird. He reckons that Dangerfield will be back.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's in the forums or if that's on the Facebook page, but
Verbatim.
not sure where that's
It's
going.
right here.
So yeah, lock it in. He's back.
But Carlton win.
Yeah, Carlton win.
Carlton second. Like they've just got... I reckon there's a feel there at the Blues that... Geez, they put them... This time last year they were 13th or 14th, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
They're starting to really roll.
Pretty cool top 4 for the game, isn't it? Sydney, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon.
First time since when did I read that? Way back, that they've all been in the top 4, those 3 big clubs. It'd be good to have Richmond back
I
up
was
there.
just trying to say 17th. I reckon I had Richmond 17th on my ladder.
You're the prophet, mate. Everyone knows that.
I know.
That's why they tune in.
Giants, Geelong, Port, and Fremantle obviously making up the ladder 4. That's an interesting makeup, isn't it?
Say that again.
Yeah, the ladder
Giants, Geelong, Port, and Fremantle. What did I say?
4. Making up the ladder 4. What the hell's the ladder 4? What does that
The
mean?
latter 4.
The latter 4.
The latter.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Latter 4.
And any of those sides, maybe Freo has probably surprised a few that they've jumped up in there.
Yeah. Even Geelong, from how negatively we're sort of talking about them at the moment, I can't believe they're in the 6th. That's pretty good.
Do you think the Dogs can slide in? I think the Hawks are
I
the
think the
sneaky
Hawks
ones.
are a chance as well.
They're 2 points out at the moment.
But you'd have to say
Half a
that the
game.
winner is, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, the winner of the granny has to really be out of Sydney, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon and Giants. Like, can you see any other team potentially getting there?
Well, if the Pies can get some troops back, which they will,
Imagine a
they're
fucking Carlton Collingwood grand final. Swans are going to be too
Oh,
good.
yeah. Well, the Swans are flying, aren't they? They're 3 games clear.
Swans
and,
can't
and
technically fly.
30%. 40%.
That's
30%. Yeah.
Saturday, June 22nd, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane. This reminds me of the
2004.
2004, and 3.
Lynch and Wakeling,
They play in the 3 as well? Or was it just the 4?
just the 4.
Just the 4.
The one
Yeah.
that Port Adelaide won.
Yeah.
And Choco came down and did the.
Yeah, I did
The-
the
the
Charlie.
tie.
You were wrong.
Yeah. Adelaide Oval, 1:45 p.m. Who wins that?
Funnily enough, the stat you went with off the top about teams off the bye, again, neither team off the bye. So,
Yeah.
it's
a great stat.
I don't have any idea then.
It's
if those numbers are
neutral territory.
Brisbane win this. Brisbane
in Adelaide.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the Lions at the moment are just going, they're on the way up. They haven't been great, but they're starting to find some form. Port Adelaide, they're shaky at the moment. Made some big calls at selection. They would have been hoping to challenge the Giants, but it was at home, I guess, last week. But
That's a fair old flight, Brisbane to Port Adelaide,
is it?
isn't it? Is that further than
Where?
Victoria?
No, I'd say
I'm not a pilot, but
Yeah.
I'm
not
in
either.
aviation.
Just a question.
Maybe you could look that up.
Yeah, we're going.
The Sydney Derby.
So who'd you select, sorry?
I went with Brisbane as well.
Yep.
Sydney Derby at NG Stadium.
Oh,
the
juicy.
wounded bull of the week, by the way, as you would know, Mick. Who was a wounded bull last week?
The Wounded Bull last week.
If you're going by what you are saying,
So
by
Just the
what
1v1s?
Tank is saying, no, the wounded bull.
yeah, so contested,
Contested, yeah.
and it's Ruckman.
Yeah.
We're talking Port Brisbane at the moment.
No.
Sorry, GWS
Sydney.
It would have been your mate B Grundy.
Yeah. 24 out of 31 contested last week.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, so we've got to work on that
So
stuff.
yeah.
Make sure that.
So,
But the
Ruckman-
other one was James Rowbottom, 19 out of 23.
Oh, that's a greater percentage.
That's
Is there
huge.
nearly scope for just a separate ruck?
Yeah, maybe
ruck
we just have
bag
we
award?
do have a show called 200 Plus that
And
they
now-
sort of talk about Ruckman, so leave that to them.
I've never listened to that.
I'm going with the Swans for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm the same. They're just humming. And as we spoke about, I reckon in our review that their midfield could ultimately be the All Australian midfield.
Sam Taylor to Marty.
Yeah.
And they still got Callum Mills to come back in, mind you. Who hasn't played yet at all. Luke Parker obviously suspended. There's some.
I wonder who is playing in the VFL at the moment for the Swans, because they do have such a good midfield. Rowbottom, Goulden, Heaney,
So Parker's in the
Parker.
reserves. They've got a
No,
guy.
Parker's
not. Parker's
reported.
suspended.
Well, sorry, but he
was.
been, yeah.
and probably
Has
up
been.
against to get back in. Sheldrick, who was the top kind of
Angus Sheldrick, pick
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
So they've got a
They've
few.
just got
Aaron
some
Francis.
incredible players.
Caleb Mitchell's a young bloke still playing
Joel
in there.
Hamling swinging between back and forward.
Yeah. There you go.
Peter Ladhams.
Ladhams. I actually enjoyed him.
4 points on the weekend.
He was good. All right, well, Melbourne, we'll go in Sydney for that. That's
We are.
at NG Stadium, which
Yeah.
is the formerly Giant Stadium.
Is that
which
Saturday Twilight?
That's a Saturday
Good
twilight.
twilight, yeah.
Great slot.
I would say, Brett and Mick, you've played there. I reckon NG Stadium
Yeah.
is one of the most underrated grounds in the AFL.
Mate, I used to love
It
playing
is
there.
unbelievable.
We've graced the turf together.
And you know the best thing
Well,
was
the three
there?
of us
Do
have.
you know what the best thing was at NG Stadium? Was when you'd always play a curtain raiser,
Oh, yeah.
and you'd go out there and just tear the fuck out of it, and then the scenes would have to come on after.
Yeah.
It was like carpet
For the curtain
for the curtain raiser, for the
Yeah.
Neefle curtain raisers. Great stadium.
Sydney, 5 goals.
Melbourne versus North Melbourne, Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. at the MCG.
Wow.
I'm saying it here.
Oh, go for it.
North win. North win.
This is where your percentage is off the bye.
Hey, you know what I was saying earlier about dropping them in this time of the year, then you look
Yeah.
back and you go, shouldn't have dropped that one?
Well, they've already dropped a couple of the Ds, haven't they? They're not in the greatest of form.
No.
What do you reckon, Brett?
What do I? Yeah, I knew you were coming to me.
He doesn't care about my opinions anymore.
Yeah, no, well, you don't watch, so
I do. I watch the highlights.
Can you tell the concerted effort he's putting in to every sentence around each game?
Yeah, until he starts naming names of players and fucking them up, we're going okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't know. I love the effort of North at the MCG, though. I just think it's a different game.
North's only look at the G this year.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is preposterous. Preposterous.
Oh, it is what it
You
is.
said it same time.
Sorry, I'm trying to say it. Preposterous.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. You got to
Yeah.
kind of build some results to get the opportunities there.
Yeah. Do you know when we were at Carlton, none of you were, but I was there, with Mick, and he used to be along the lines of, if you can play... So he'd bring the ground in.
You have it
And-
remarked up.
Yeah, have it marked up, and we'd train on the Marvel Stadium, which is the smallest ground in the AFL.
Is it?
Yep. Smallest Marvel,
SCG?
different deck, though. You're not playing there every week, you know what I mean? You play there like once a year, if that.
yeah.
Not the
So,
smallest.
back to what I'm saying.
GMHBA, I reckon it's
pretty
skinnier.
thin.
Again, mate, when's Carlton playing GMHBA? Maybe once every 2 years. Same as the SCG.
Less, I reckon once every decade.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah.
So he'd always bring it into the Marvel Stadium knowing that it's a lot easier to play on a smaller ground, and you can then go and actually have more room at the MCG versus if you train on a big ground, it's very hard when you go to Marvel. So what I'm asking to you, Mick, is do you think that
warts
it'll
all
actually
over
be easy? You'll have more room out there to run and use your skills and...
Doesn't always work that way.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back. It's harder to play on a small ground than it is on a big ground. Can we agree on that?
I don't know, because I look at the Giants and how they've
we
gone,
can't.
and I think they play really well at their home deck. But then when we got to the Gs, particularly in our time when we were there, we didn't play overly well. We got lost at times and weren't able to use it anywhere near as well. Given all the space, there was heaps of it.
That's fair.
Similar experience when I went back at the Fremantle days. Whenever we used to go to the G was just that wider. Found it hard to defend.
Yep.
Defend
Got
the
spread,
ground.
picked holes.
Yeah, and Richmond in particular, Brett. You
Yes.
go play Richmond, who were shit house at the time. And they just used the width of it. You know, Deletio. Remember these names?
Yeah.
Deletio.
Number 3 I was.
First,
Hooley.
Dusty's first kick was actually to our man Brett.
Was it?
Took a beautiful mark, made him look good. You know the one I'm talking about, Brett. It was out in the wing. Dusty kicked it to you.
Was that his first
one-on-one? You marked it and then just took off. Beautiful.
Who was tagging you that day, you reckon?
Who was it against?
It was good.
It was
Carlton.
against Carlton, I think. Yeah, I don't know who it was. It was
Darren Hume? No.
yeah. I think it was Paul Bauer.
Who was that little fella with the shaved nugget?
Dave Allard.
No, I was actually running into Dave Allard just the other day.
Slugger.
No.
Oh, Aaron Joseph.
Yes,
Yeah,
Aaron Joseph.
Yeah.
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 He went-
It's
He's
probably
a good-
him or Carrazzo.
He's a good man. Yeah, there you go.
So, but who do you reckon wins?
North win. Come on.
Nah. The
Gotta stick
Ds.
with them, mate,
I'm going
yeah.
to stick with the Ds.
Fair enough.
Sorry, mate.
No, that's okay. We just got to see how we go. Got to put together 4 quarters for Brett.
But Petrarca's out, which is a huge out
Yeah.
for them.
Sending love for track as well,
and
mate.
your
That's-
midfield, no, mate, you should be really confident going in against them. But Tristan Sherry's got to really nullify Maxi Gore.
Yeah, big
Oh,
challenge.
we've got
for the
Teakle
big
as well. Don't worry about him.
Double.
Double roll. Bring another one in.
Jeez, Monkey will be busy on the day.
Oh, he'll
have his own huddle.
he'd need 2 more ruck coaches. So you can't overload them, mate. They've got a massive workload.
Can I just say from the weekend, I took some vision of our man coming
Did
off
you?
the ground.
I've got a sore leg, Brett. That's why I'm kind of strutting.
Did he have the lanyard around the chest again? Yeah.
but I didn't notice any throw ups in the
Oh,
strut
mate, I'm
off.
so conscious of Brett. The lanyard yesterday, because I copped shit last week,
Yeah.
having it under the, because you have it under there so it doesn't get
Yes,
written
we
down
know
when you're
why.
warming up.
Yep.
So I just put it on normally.
And he got in the bed.
And who asked me to do some? Oh, Will Phillips come to me and goes, "Oh, can you just do some just a bit of contact stuff?" So no worries. First push off, Lanyard.
Bang. Oh, bang.
Gone. In pieces.
Did he come to you guys? Oh, look, the Mick's sort of the closest to Dacos out of the right. He'll be a good one. He could have gone to his teammates and go, nah, Mick's he's very similar body type. Essendon West Coast reminds me of James Hird kicking that goal at Etihad Stadium back in the day. Might have been Telstra Dome actually.
Mark LaCroix kicking 12.
Yeah. Kevin Sheedy going like that to Mitch White.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Was that the
No.
jacket as well?
No,
Oh, that was a few years ago.
Anyway, that's at Marvel. Essendon versus West Coast. I'd have to say, geez, this.
I've got this game, I think, for ABC.
Yeah, what do you
so
reckon?
tune in.
What do you reckon?
You a Murph?
Yeah.
So just Murph.
just Murph.
Just Murph.
I'm there, but I'm not speaking.
Yeah.
Just watching it from the ABC box.
Yep, fair enough.
Essendon, I think. They're not going great, but they'll be going good enough to
Get it done.
get it done. They're defending really well. They're playing in a pretty good manner, I reckon, the Dons. Coming off the bye.
Both off the bye.
Yeah.
So again, nullified. That stat again is not relevant for our
Thanks
show.
for
Who
Yeah.
gave you that stat?
Oh, Darcy. Thanks, Darcy. Then we have Fremantle versus Gold Coast. Who does this remind you of? Greg Broughton.
Only one person it reminds
No, do
me
you know
of.
there's a lot
Greggy
of-
Broughton.
There's a lot of cross-pollination.
Sharp.
Lockie
Weller.
Weller,
Broughton.
Broughton, Brandon Matera,
Brandon Matera.
Harley Bennell.
Harley Bennell.
Was it Bennell or Bennell?
Bennell.
I thought it was Bennell.
Bennell.
Okay, Bennell.
Did you play with him?
Yeah, one year.
Jeez, mate,
2016.
he was a.
I remember one game playing against him.
Oh.
We beat them.
When he kicked
but
like 10 against Gold
he kicked
Coast?
6. He kicked 6 for Gold Coast, getting tagged by Adam
Yeah.
McPhee. Had 27.
That was
Sorry,
it. That was
sorry,
it.
Adam
Smoky.
McPhee.
That was
It was
it.
a team defence job that we let him down. 27 and kicked 6.
I remember that too.
We tried to get into the Tigs when he was leaving the Suns. And I went into the club to meet him to catch up.
Oh, I love these chats, Brett.
And he left me hanging. He didn't turn up. He got
Really?
caught up with a big night the night before. And
Oh my God.
didn't realise I said to Blair Hartley. I was like, mate, I don't think we're getting this kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Far out. That's.
Then he
Was he on a side? Did he say, oh, sorry, Donald?
left on red. Yeah.
Brett, talk us through, and maybe Mick as well. I can dare say I was never a part of these chats, but when you potentially bring in players into the club, who else did you ever nearly sit down and bring in and have a chat with?
We tried to get Adam Treloar.
Yeah.
We were working toward Jack Trengove. We tried to get him across, but he
ended up getting there, didn't he?
poor bugger ended up with
the navicular.
navicular. Yeah,
I remember that he had the scan,
Yeah.
and it was just about done, and then they said we can't bring you. Yeah.
yeah. So
He retired.
I'm not sure. Yeah, well, we stayed at Melbourne.
No, he went to Port.
Did he
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
Port?
He went to Port.
Yeah.
I think he went back to the Sandful, then went to Port after that, or something like that.
It's amazing how these things just swallow themselves.
Yeah. I really wanted to get Adam Treloar. I thought he would have been a great piece for our little puzzle there at the Tigs. And infamously said, no, I think I want to go to a side that's got the better list. Gave
right.
Kochi the rub on the head after Brodie Grundy kicked that match-winning goal.
Rub on the head.
And then
Don't do
couple of years later,
Yeah.
3 flags. And
Don't do that to
Brett,
Kochi.
when you went to Giants,
yep.
who
rolled the red carpet?
Oh, yeah.
No, because you and Cambo were very good mates.
I'll go
We
to
were.
Brett first, and then I'll come to you, Dyl.
Yeah, he still got there after, but
Hang on.
No one knew I was. No one gave a fuck. Yeah. Anyway, go Brett first, then I'll tell my story.
last pick in the
Mine's a
rookie.
lot shorter. It's a lot shorter story.
Grateful for the opportunity.
Brett, don't steal my story, please. That's my story.
No, I ended up on a little boat in the harbour with Shorey was there, Simon Kadich, who was the runner at the time,
Simon Kadich.
the CEO, Cambo, Leon.
Sure.
Drove around, had a few beers, and then went into Darling Harbour, ordered some
A couple of oysters.
oysters,
Gilpatrick or just fresh?
a couple of crab sticks. Nah. And then, they gave me the bit of the spiel, went out to the club the next day and then went home. But, made the decision that afternoon just before, that afternoon, I think.
Well, after a couple of Chardonnays.
Yeah.
Your story, Dyl?
No, mine was a little different. Mine was a little different to that. I got flown up with Lockie Keefe, actually. We came up together.
Was he sweating? He's a mad sweater.
No, so
Lockie
I thought
Keith.
I was going up, and then they're like, it's actually out of you two. They put us on the same flight together. And I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be great. We got up there, got picked up by Brett Hand, who was I think,
Handy.
one of the welfare guys. Beautiful man. Drove us out. And that's about it, to be completely honest. They ended up going with Keithy, and they took him as a delisted free agent.
Yeah.
And then I got picked up maybe a month later in the rookie draft.
Were you
But
training on at the time?
No, I didn't train on. No.
Just doing your own work back
But
here.
from memory, they, and I say this in all seriousness, I don't think I was their first choice, obviously being Keithy.
I actually know for a fact you weren't.
I know for a fact Nick Subban
Was their first choice.
was their first choice. So they really wanted Nick Subban. I found out this as well. And he's like, I'm not going there for fucking 60 grand with like two kids moving to Sydney.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And I was like, can we do 61? They're like, no. I was like, deal. And basically that was my story.
Nick Subban. He used
they
to
really
do
wanted Nick Subban.
a few run with roles, didn't he?
Yeah,
I reckon Ivan used to get into him.
That's really, does Nick Subban know, like, have you spoke to him about that?
I reckon it's come up.
Because I also, that changed my life. And I need to say thank you to him.
Yeah.
I probably owe
I'll
him
say
a
it.
couple. Nick, bloody thank you so much.
Yeah.
That
Thanks
really,
to BWS. We'll get you a little hook
and
up.
thanks to BWS. Yeah, mate, we'll definitely, I want to send him a nice gift.
Yeah.
And say, because if he didn't do that,
You wouldn't be
fuck
here today.
me, mate.
Yeah,
I don't know
very
what I'd
true.
be. I honestly have no idea what I'd be doing. I wake up sometimes in a sweat, thinking, where would I
Got
be?
to turn the air conditioner on.
Yeah, literally. But thank you, Nick. How is he? What's he doing these days?
He's in. He's coaching at South Fremantle.
I'm going to buy a membership. I'm going to buy a membership there.
Yeah, he's an assistant coach, so he's not.
No, don't worry about it. No. Give him the head
He's
roll.
in insurance, I reckon.
Give him the head roll, and I'll get a
Caught up with him
membership.
last.
Oh, is he one of your blokes that was on the
He's
list,
one of the
the hit
crew.
list?
Yeah, he was there.
With Tendai.
But how good's the closing doors stories of just not that one in particular?
Closing
but even
doors
just
or
the
sliding doors?
Sliding doors.
Yeah.
So the one of like
Oh, why are we closing doors?
Trelaw and Brett and what was yours at Gold Coast?
I'm glad you asked.
Buckle yourself in, boys.
when I was delisted there at the Dockers, the manager, I knew him. I was like, okay, who's keen?
Yeah.
He said, not many.
Do you want the truth or?
Literally, my shoulder was fucked. It was like I'd done this shoulder injury, and I'd done a nerve, so my arm was like, I literally couldn't swing it like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't pick it up. So I had a few medicals to get through. Obviously, some cap space had opened up at Richmond because Brett had just
No, I hadn't.
hadn't you?
No, because they filled it straight away with Dion.
Yeah, true. So Brett was, whilst he was off gallivanting on the boat around Sydney Harbour, eating oysters Kilpatrick.
Did you have a meeting?
I was in the war room at the Tigs.
What? That's unbelievable.
And then I
Did
sat
you know
with,
this?
Sat with Dimmer and Blair Hartley, and geez, I was all in. They were selling it. They were like, "This is a club under pressure." I'm like, "Fucking oath, I'm in. I love to hear it. I'm a man for pressure." And they said, "Look, we're working through a few things, a bit of a dynamic in terms of like we need a big body mid.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to you." I didn't come back to you because the next week I think Prestius made the commitment to them, and then Caddy. So I think Caddy was.
Oh, yeah, they had a few. And then Lynch as well, the same year? Or was that the year
Nah.
before?
He was
before.
2 years after. 5 years after.
Caddy.
He played 19 and 20.
Caddy came. So I genuinely didn't. They didn't call me back, which is
Okay,
fine.
that's
Like I get it.
You never know these days with numbers and not saving them and stuff. It's
Yeah.
actually hard. It's
Yeah.
actually hard to get.
Reception.
Yeah.
And then I was
Credit.
like, who's next? And then the GC and the Crows. So I met with the Crows in Perth. Their coach at the time was Don Pike, so I sat with him. And sat with him. And
Could have played in the granny.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, again, they said they were keen. That there was an offer of a contract. Similar to your discussion around 60 grand. Can you do 61? No. Okay. Actually, lucky I had a bit of leverage. I was like, okay, let me consider that. And then Gold Coast flew me up. Went for dinner with, like, all your Gold Coast stars.
Oh, yeah.
Richatelli.
Yeah. Nathan Bock.
Harbrow.
Who was there? Rish.
Swallow.
Swallow was there. Matt Rosa.
Oh, I love Matt Rosa. Yeah,
In charge of Essendon's list now.
Yeah,
Matty
so
Rosa,
I went
great man.
Dinner with them and got smoozed a bit, and
Fell
the
in
offer
love.
was a bit better.
Yeah. There you go.
So went to the Suns. I was
How many games did you end up playing at the Suns?
only 15, so I
Yeah.
broke my leg halfway through that first year, and then just didn't get a game the second.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
But it wasn't like the offer was a fair bit better. But at the same time, I remember playing the Suns. I've told this story a few times in 2016 for the Dockers. And they were one of the best sides I'd ever played against.
Yeah.
Like, they were the side, when they were on, they were red hot. And I was like, this side can put it together.
Yeah, you never know.
We're going to the moon. which was actually the theme
That's
of 2017,
really
and we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, you went to
The depths.
the depths. That's really, I love those stories. Genuinely love them. They're so interesting, sliding doors, as you would say, Brett. Not closing doors moments, but it's there. Yeah. There you go. Just on the medical thing, one last. I'd been away. I got the list from Carlton. I'd been away. Went to South America with a couple mates for a month, and I had knee surgery just before I left. And because I thought I was done, I didn't think
Didn't know when the rehab.
Manager said no one's keen, and I remember going, I'm just going to go do this. Went away, came back and did my medical. Hadn't done anything. I've been riding a fucking bike around South America. Like my knee was like
What
this big.
type of bike?
It was a mountain bike, actually. No, because I did the Death Road in Bolivia.
Oh, yeah.
You ever heard of that?
That's good for the rehab.
Yeah, it wasn't good for the meniscus. And got back and I'm doing this medical, and I was like, oh, this is where they're going to find me out. And hadn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I was like, oh, no, these all good. And passed the medical somehow, which, in all fairness, would understand what happened with the injuries down at that club a couple of years later. They probably weren't scanning them as good. So anyway.
That was part of mine as well. I had the medical on the shoulder, and my shoulder, like I'd been told it might not fix for 2 years. But they made me do all this testing, and I was
You're just doing it.
that
little beeper
I thought
thing?
they were going to come back and say, "Oh, you need that one." Turn out. They came back to me and said, "Yeah, all good medically," and I was like, "Yeah, but okay, let's sign that."
Was Mark
Quick sign.
Homewood doing that?
He was.
Mark
He did
Homewood,
it.
he was at
Yeah.
Carlton. There you go.
Yeah.
Great times. Anyway, boys, moving on. Have we been through all the games?
Yep.
There you go. So, buys this week: Adelaide, Collingwood, Hawks, Richmond, Saints, and Bulldogs, which is there. Last but not least, we're going through the Melbourne Goats. So, 2000 to 2030.
Oh, yep.
I feel like this one's pretty straightforward.
Well, there is for number one, I think, in my opinion.
Gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just go. The GOAT of Melbourne FC from 2000 to 2030. 6-year projection period. Who knows what's going to happen? So we've got Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver.
Don't reckon anyone's in there at the moment that's going to
No.
make a run.
No.
That hasn't already.
Nah. I'm trying to think back in the early 2000s.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
Potentially, like,
four-time best and fairest
Yep.
winner. 300 games.
Yep.
Neats.
David Neitz. Yeah, I don't know when he finished up.
Neitz and Schwartz and all that were around early. Like they would have only
Yeah.
just got into the new century.
Yeah.
I reckon I played against Neats. Yeah.
It's just,
Only just got into the new century.
That's crazy.
He
Yeah.
crawled in, didn't he?
He really did.
Who else? Who was the last person we were talking about? They finished in 2008 or 9, and
Oh, Lloyd. Yeah.
he just made it into 2000. I think played in the flag, and that was
But
it.
it's funny when you lose track of time. Next week.
Well, the recency bias, mate. Everyone falls for it.
Next week, what I'd love to go through, if anyone out there wants to do some stats and some research, do some research in the years players retired in our 3 first seasons.
Yeah.
So who was like that crossover of you've got the oldest player retiring and you're starting your career that you would have played against?
Yeah.
Oh,
James Hurd.
So you got you played against James.
I played on James Hurd in
Wow.
a game, and it was amazing.
I reckon
Played against Cuda.
That's what I was just thinking. Cuda, that would have been sick.
I think I had maybe Andrew McLeod. And
Oh,
Tyson
the bunch.
Edwards.
Wow.
I think those two kind of
Still one of my
finished up.
favourites.
That's
I think I played in
fucking
Tyson Edwards' last game.
sick. Yeah, I don't have many. I'm just thinking the only ones
Played
I have
against
is
Vossi,
like
Blackie.
Jimmy Bartell, Stevie J.
And Cousins finished in 2010, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Cousins.
reckon I played against Black. When did he?
No, Blackie played for ages. Like he was still going in 2012, maybe.
Anyway, back on Melbourne. Are we going to go the top 3? Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver. I think it's a pretty straightforward one, really. Let's be completely honest. Is there anyone else?
Well,
Nathan Jones did a lot of the heavy lifting.
He
didn't
did. No, he
for that-
did.
for the
Mate,
club?
he's a stalwart of that club, but I think in terms of premiership, I know we don't like to rate on
Big
premierships,
games,
but
yeah.
those 3 what they've
Four
done.
best and fairest, Clayton Oliver.
4.
Gawn's-
Has he got 4?
I think he's got 4. 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it'd be those 3 with the close 4th being Jonesy.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
Pretty simple.
The Ds.
There you have it, boys. Thank
until,
you.
Until we missed the obvious one.
Yeah, and like we missed Dangerfield the other week for the Cats. Apologies to him. But in saying that,
Pretty good
it's
player,
a
Pat.
very good list that we went into.
I don't think Dangerfield gets in there.
I don't think he does either. Guys, that was the BWS weekend preview. BWS, get your drinks for games sorted and enjoy the footy with BWS, professionally BWS stats. We're going to get Tank on to some next
Yeah.
week. We're going to tighten up a few of those bits and pieces around the wounded bull and the fundamentals, and we'll work out what the other one is if he doesn't want to go with that. But I need some feedback from Tank. No problems, only solutions. Come with some actual feedback, not just problems.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you email us if you have any questions at mailbag.
Sign up
at
for the
dylanfriends.com.
700s.
Sign up for the 700s. And also, what you're wearing today, mate.
Ooh,
The Clubby
yeah.
Sports, that's
How
dropping
good is it?
tonight. That is dropping tonight at 7 p.m.
Get on.
Our whole range. So if you're loving it, give it a crack and see what you think. But thank you so much, guys. And we love you. ClubbySportswear.com. Sign up. It's on tonight, 7 p.m. First drop. ILXX.